What's up, everybody? What's up, everyone? What's up, people? So I had to drop in. I'm new to these YouTube streets, but I had to drop in and give my thoughts and opinions with this nomadic therapy and it's Justine's world. Um, Basically, I have been following pretty much just kind of like from the lives to them supporting each other in their lives and doing things like that. And then it just took a turn. I haven't really heard a lot of people kind of discussing it and giving their opinion. And possibly because someone has such a strong opinion about everything, nomadic therapy. And it may deter people from giving their true and honest opinion. Well, that's what I'm here for. So I have found nomadic therapy to be very interesting to basically watch, catch on the lives. But when this situation happened, I saw nomadic therapy in a different light. I also saw Justine as a very unproblematic person. I just did. And I thought nomadic therapy was as well until this whole fallout kind of unfolded, in these YouTube streets. So let me get straight to it. What I have observed is the fact that there were a string of videos that were dropped by nomadic therapy. And these videos, and please keep me honest here, but these videos were basically similar topics to her so-called friend's life. So let's say everything in it didn't necessarily match up to Justine's life, but there were some heavy hitters that she was actually discussing as just random topics, right? Now, she never took accountability to say that, hey, as a friend, if my friend is going through a divorce, if my friend is a person who likes nice things, if my friend is this, wouldn't it dawn on you to possibly be a friend and maybe, tailor your topics to maybe not offend your friend, or maybe tee up your friend and say, hey, I'll be discussing these topics ahead of time. This is not about you. Maybe even adding a disclaimer, to your subscribers to say, these videos are not in any way about Justine. Of course, everybody will form their own opinion, but I think it's so sad that there is no accountability from this individual who started to discussing topics that were very similar to her friend's life. Okay? Now, these topics to me were subliminal messages to her dislike of Justine's lifestyle. Okay? She was judging someone. That being said, Justine then starts to, she did some lives, and I've known Justine just through YouTube to be very unproblematic. So Justine gets called out by nomadic therapy to basically say, hey, people were saying things in your comments saying that I was talking about you, and you never shut them down. But did nomadic therapy ever shut down the rumors that she wasn't talking about her friends? What I remember, and please keep me honest because I have not, watched all the lives all the way through, but if my friend, let's say, just lost custody of her children, and I'm this YouTuber who talks about controversial issues, do you think that it would be smart of me, if that's my friend, to talk about, parents who lose custody of their children? No, it wouldn't be as a friend, because first of all, I'm supposed to be mindful of what my friend is going through. Meaning that I'm not going to kick anybody while they're down. I don't want my friend to think that what she's going through, I have like this judgment, upon her. So, but what I remember Nomadic Therapy saying was, she simply said, these are topics that come to mind and everybody basically wants to, think that it's about them. Do you know how many friends I have? Do you know this? Do you know that? But then days later, she makes another video about this is why she doesn't have any friends. I'm confused, ladies and gentlemen. I'm confused. I find Nomadic Therapy to be very contradictory throughout her videos. I am no one that is in a position to judge. I'm just truly giving my thoughts and opinions. And no one who is, I would say part of Nomadic Therapy's following group is really telling her like, hey, you are a great person, but you need to be accountable for all of those videos, which I found to be very messy, that you were sending subliminal messages to your so-called friend. And when your supporters or whomever viewed her video and they actually went and told Justine, this is what she's talking about, tell me why would the supporters, who you never said this was about Justine, why would the supporters think that you were talking about Justine? They thought you were talking about Justine, Nomadic Therapy, because it was very similar to what Justine has going on in her world. And that is very insensitive of someone that's supposed to be your friend to still talk about these topics and then just basically blame it on, this is what I want to talk about. This is my channel and that is it. So how was Justine supposed to take that? Was she supposed to say, oh, these videos that you're dropping, they're very similar to my life, but I can't take offense because you've already said you're not talking about me. So the same pride that you have about how she should have shut down people in her life is the same pride that you should have had when she thought you were talking about her in those videos. I'm sorry, I had to weigh in because what I find myself doing is just hearing, the reasoning behind how some people think that they are somehow the friend extraordinaire, and they're not. No friend of mine would talk about a sensitive topic that I'm going through to then make me feel ashamed of my situation. And let's say I was a really down-to-earth person, a minimalist, if you will, and my friend was somebody who liked the finer things in life. She really liked a lot of name brand items, clothes, whatever. Do you think that if I had a problem with her lifestyle, she may have a problem with my lifestyle? Do you think that those topics should be discussed, off of YouTube? So while you're sitting up here judging, let me say, because I'm not talking directly to Nomadic Therapy, but while Nomadic Therapy is basically still throwing subliminal shots, she does it all day, that Justine is somehow this bad friend, you should probably stop and self-assess and make sure that you were being a good friend initially. I know that we're all sensitive in this world, so this is not to come down on Nomadic Therapy, because I really appreciate her sharing her story and all that she's been through. But I do believe that there is some accountability that she has to own as it pertains to this Justine thing. I really feel like Justine may have saw those messy comments, and in order to just basically dead the situation, she just didn't even give it any life. Sometimes if there is a situation that is so non-existent to you, you're not going to even mention it or give it any life. Don't give it any fuel. And that's what she did. And Nomadic Therapy actually became upset because she didn't give it any life, or she didn't handle it the way she wanted her to handle it. That's also a very I don't know. It's not a friend that I would want on my team where I have to handle a situation the way you would handle it. And then you can be reckless on the other end and just throw out subliminals, or maybe it wasn't about me. Maybe it was. I got to sit here and guess if you're my friend or not. And I think, to be honest with you, I feel like Justine actually still extended that olive branch. She still called you to say, hey, I was still blessed by your presence, blessed by your friendship. And you still muddied her up. You just muddied her up. And I really don't know the reason behind it, but somewhere, obviously, I don't think it has anything to do with, any of the obvious reasons, jealousy, or, I'm living this lifestyle, you're not. I just think sometimes people simply don't want to be bothered. And I feel like Nomadic Therapy did not want to visit Justine during her trip to where she's at now. She didn't feel like being bothered. And instead of just saying, I don't feel like being bothered, she pushed herself to still go and buy these clothes, drop them off at Justine's house, and do all these other things, when she could have just simply said, you know what? I really don't really want to maybe, do this friendship thing right now. Or I don't want to meet. I really am tired. Whatever it is. And I know you said you had a conversation with her, but I'm saying that I also recall that and I'm going to cut this off, guys, because now I'm kind of rambling. But last thing I want to say is that I also recall when Justine had a live and Vanessa had basically said in her live, should I go visit Justine? Should I not? Should I visit her? Everybody was saying, yeah, go visit her. Well, I guess I'm visiting Justine. If you didn't want to visit Justine, you didn't have to. I'm sure Justine doesn't have to force anybody to be her friend. She seems like a very lovely person. And I'm sure you don't have to. I'm sure that with the wisdom and the age that comes with both, Nomadic Therapy and Justine, you could have easily just communicated to her, not this trip around, And I will end it to say, which is what I was initially trying to say, is that Justine had a live and she basically was even asking Vanessa, when will you be arriving? Because Vanessa, you were in her comments. And you actually said you would be arriving, I don't know, that night or the next night. But you never, to your subscribers, you never just flat out said, this is probably not a good time. You did say, I may be in and out, but it just seems like you didn't feel like being bothered. And so you made it this huge ordeal as to how to take Justine down when, for whatever reason. So I'll be possibly breaking this down a little bit more. But I just wanted to drop this video. I'm new to these YouTube streets, but I had to check in. Somebody has to tell the truth here. And I'm not saying that the other channels that may be covering or may not be covering it, I just feel like my thoughts and opinion, I just wanted to share it with everyone. Okay, have a good night.